GM and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're taking a look at GameFi and gambling and the emergence of a crossover here. So a bit of an update on GaMBLE-Fi, but we're going to look at a couple projects that kind of cross between the two. You've got elements of gaming and then you can wager on top, and a bit of strategy as well. So quite an interesting bundle of stuff here. If you enjoyed this one, make sure you do subscribe to the channel and drop your comment down below and we'll jump in. So Anson posted this kind of a narrative underway right now. I see this as the market starts to slow down a little bit. Obviously Bitcoin had the dump off. There's football season coming up, that is the NFL. So he thinks RLB and SCS, these are casino coins, likely do well, and also games that people can play while the market is slow and a bit boring. Things like Prime, Nana, and Illuvium coming soon. So that's kind of the thesis behind this and the narrative that is playing out here. And we have the NFL fixtures here, week 1, September 7th, first game Friday the 8th of September. So a couple weeks out and the NFL season will start. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, first and foremost, this is one of the biggest wagered sports on the planet. And so the fact it comes back into season here is obviously big for sportsbooks worldwide, but what we're seeing is a lot of crypto-based gambling adoption, and so this could be a major money spinner for many of the crypto gambling apps. Last season stats there, 46.6 million Americans plan to wager on the 2022 NFL season, and it says it's undoubtedly the most popular sports for wagering overall, the NFL. Furthermore, we have estimates at this market being worth 14 billion by the year 2027. So massive opportunity here, and probably one of the clearest kind of crossovers that we can see. And what we're seeing in the year 2023 is that crypto gambling is getting quite a lot of adoption. Now you could say crypto is gambling anyhow, but when you actually have the gambling apps on top of blockchain architecture, you do have something quite special. The ability to do rev share and other similar things where there is some value accrual to token holders. This has really kicked off. I mean, who wouldn't want to own a share of a casino that performs well? So on this, I've just got a few on my shortlist: Rollbit, Blockchain Bets, Bazed Games, COCO. Then we have Crown coming fast and furious out of the gate, no pun intended, more on that in just a sec. Dubbz, a bit of an intersection of the two, and BetsWell. We're going to go through quite a few of these here in this video and try and keep it as snappy and short as I can. So football season back in full effect. The biggest and #1 head honcho in the gambling scene on crypto is none other than Rollbit. So Rollbit has recently done the buyback and burn procedure. You can buy the following tokens directly on their site now as well: spot pairs, Rollbit, OX, Bitcoin, and Unibot there. The on-chain index is available to purchase directly on here, and they will have pretty much their own DEX on here. Go to the dashboard, you can see all their revenues are now burning the token as per the model here. $3 million worth of Rollbit, 19 million tokens burned forever over approximately the last 2.5 weeks there. So I do think the price of Rollbit at 14 cents is likely to go up from here. With the NFL season starting back up, it's obviously a comfortable home for a lot of people to already be betting on this. It is the biggest casino in crypto, so I think it is a decent long from this point onwards. We're going to move on to the second one, which is Crown here. So this is from Photo Finish. I remember watching this last bull market around 2021. They were developing things and I was like, crikey, this looks like a really cool thing that can be done. D-Race obviously had a bit of a banger of a run, but Photo Finish here is honestly just levels ahead of that. They have a partnership with the actual Kentucky Derby. You know, sports betting on horse racing is absolutely phenomenally big. And obviously if you can do that virtually and run these races 24/7, 365, well, this is obviously very appealing to people. Now, what you can do with the actual token, it is pretty damn cool. The Crown token, you can stake it, and if you stake it onto a specific horse racing track, so you would take your token, stake them onto a track, at the end then of each season, a season lasts 1 month, you will get the in-game stablecoin of Derby returned to you as a yield. So the Derby token is paid by the people who own the NFT horses to actually participate in a race. So each time there's a race on a track, there's a rake taken. Derby is therefore the stable unit of account, and that is the revenue that comes in. You stake your Crown and then you get a revenue share based on the amount of Derby that has been utilized on your various tracks. So if you just think about the potential growth for this, I know a lot of things in crypto are all about potentialities and speculation, but obviously this is rather bloody huge. And so lately, in the last few days, what we've started to see with this narrative playing out is a major uptick in the price of Crown here. Now there's two things to point out before you get super scared at that chart. First and foremost, the fully diluted market cap, it's nowhere near that circulating wise, and there is also not a lot of liquidity on here. So the play for this 80k of liquidity. So I've bought pretty near the top, to be honest with you. Around 30 cents is my average price. What we saw with Rollbit, it was on Solana. This is a Solana based coin. Rollbit, before it migrated liquidity elsewhere and boosted out its liquidity, traded at a fraction of the price it trades at today. So if these guys do sort their liquidity, maybe migrate the token over to ETH mainnet, who knows? While you're actually getting involved, whilst it's more difficult to buy these things, it's a low liquidity environment. You put in like $400 or $500, you start to move the price on these things. So you have to actually start to DCA into this one. Of course, not financial advice, just showing you what I have bought here. But we jump into the tokenomics here and you can see these percentages here, 40%, 30%, 20%. So these are the kind of vesting contracts for the Crown token to be distributed throughout the game, throughout the various seasons. So a lot of the tokens are actually locked away and they will be emitted out slowly and steadily. So there's only around 10% of the tokens actually in circulation. So when you actually look at the circulating, it's around 10% of that. So it's a 9 million market cap for a virtual horse racing ecosystem whereby you can stake the token, own a share of the revenues forever, essentially, if you so wish. Quite an appealing one, and you can see a lot of traction coming on here and a lot of hype over on Twitter that is building up. There's some big influencers who have been buying this and they are yet to shill, FYI. Then we have Bazed Games. This, again, if you haven't seen the trend, if you don't have any marketing for a project, they really don't go anywhere. You have to have marketers behind things, otherwise no one knows about your product. Two big marketers behind this, Crypto God John and also Coach K as well. Both of those, I believe, are affiliates for this casino, and I think they will be shilling this especially hard going into the NFL season. Current market cap, $3.6 million. Now, if we just go over to Bazed Games, it says this: our updated V2 casinos and staking and rev share will go live with this next update. You can see on here from what they're showing off, very different to the actual live interface right now. They've got American football, they've got all the sports betting on there. So if we just go over to the actual interface, it does not look that good whatsoever. Only a few little games on here. So this V2 update over the next week or so, we'll see them add the sports betting. We'll see them start to promote the NFL season and the ability to bet on that. And if you just do a compare and contrast, bit of spot the difference between the current website and what they've got coming here, it is a marked difference. 60% of revenues for this one go back to token stakers. So this one is quite intriguing in my opinion, and I do think this one will get a big push going into the NFL season. Then we have OX COCO. This one, to be honest with you, looks quite a bit limp. If we just look at the chart here, it's kind of come to this kind of bottom region twice now and hasn't seen much of a pulse. So this one is probably one I would actually avoid. They did boast some big casino payouts there, 102k's worth over the first week there, but subsequent to this, I think it's gone limp because they haven't been bragging about the revenues since. So this one for me is still on my watch list, but I kind of feel like there is a bit of saturation in this market right now, and it hasn't got the heat that it had when it was fresh out the gate. So for me, I'm actually going to avoid this one, but still keeping tabs. So as we saw with Crown Photo Finish, you've got the kind of gambling elements, you've got the NFT gaming stuff, but you've also got gambling as well, because people are putting their horses into those races to win the purse from those various races. So gambling, GameFi, cross intersection there. Now Dubbz goes a step further here, and this one is super interesting because Suzu's wallet has been accumulating this coin. Market cap 23 mil. It's on a bit of a pullback here, but as you can see, up like a skyscraper overall. But Dubbz has been featured on national TV, as you can see from the clips here. And what they're trying to do, which is obviously very good for Web3, is bring traditional gamers over to Web3 via their kind of wagering. So what they do is actually allow you to wager. So say you're playing CSGO, you can play against people for money, and there's a revenue sharing model within the platform there. So if you're a token holder, they take fees in USDC, and they get a share of that coming back to the token holders. Interestingly, there is no staking requirement. It just goes to your dashboard on there. So I think that is a pretty cool feature. No buy tax, just a sell tax of 4%. And for me, I can kind of see why this one is getting a bit of traction there. So you want to play FIFA against your mates and you want to put down maybe 10, 20 bucks. This will take a rake on the winnings, but you can obviously further gamify the sports betting experience. So kind of the approach of esports for everyone. You don't have to be a professional player, but you could play on an amateur level and still make money if you're really good. So what I think we're seeing in the market is that gambling has become very much embedded within crypto right now. Gambling on a more society-wide level as well is definitely becoming more and more acceptable. The amount of adverts I see for gambling are going through the roof. And as people are struggling for money, as people are struggling to make ends meet, they're more likely to take these kind of routes to try and make it all back. So it does seem that crypto has a perfect space with the gambling ecosystem, and we have these crossovers here, a bit of horse racing, a bit of, play your favorite game and do a bit of a wager. So let me know what you think of this down below. Are people more likely to come in and gamble and game on crypto rather than say go to Uniswap and just play with tokens? And is this really the secret killer use case for cryptocurrency more widely? I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.